Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of GHB Tempest Trial tier list update. This is about a newer unit that we're going to be getting, which is Ylgr. Honestly, I thought she was better than she actually is at first. I initially ranked her 2 rank above what she actually is on this tier list. We'll see why after I get to the comparison, but first when it comes on to stats. So, her stat line is really good aggressively, pretty decent defense and res also, which makes her a fantastic all-rounder unit. That said, while I do say this, she does have her own issues. Her kit is okay, her weapon can be decent also just early on in general. Her issue is just, the competition she has is very early. Now, first merge is actually giving her attack and speed, so that's good. HP attack and speed, which pushes her offense to 36 attack and 37 speed. So you'd think, considering she has that good of a defense and res, there's no way anything could be really comparable to her, wouldn't it? I got bad news. So this is the comparison. Yeah, the only thing she has over Libera is 2 HP, 1 speed, 1 defense, while Libera has 5 more res. Initially I was comparing her to Linus, but I decided to remove the comparison because Linus does have his own thing. The way he uses the pref with life and death makes him very different to Ylgr, and the fact that, you know, he has an extra 3 attack over her, and the fact that, you know, Basilicos is already 2 might above a slaying axe, already from the get-go kind of pushes the 5 attack above her at a cost of 2 speed. And then you add the fact that it has life and death in the weapon, and that Linus can certainly spare the defense for it, so it's kind of a bad comparison. Libera is the best comparison. Now, Ylgr herself is a good unit. The problem is, I can't really recommend you going plus 10 on her, considering it costs 2,700 Grail, and Libera basically does everything she does, about as well, if not better, especially the main set that I wanted to showcase. Now, I have 4 sets for her. I've made all of those sets before realizing Libera was straight up better in most scenarios, so do excuse me on that one. Do realize that if you're looking for a Libera set, well, all 4 sets are applicable to Libera because Ylgr doesn't have a pref and neither does Libera, therefore they have nothing to really have over one another, so they're basically the same thing. Yay! As a matter of fact, the fact that Libera has a res stat pushes him to be a much better unit at everything Ylgr can try to do. Now, here's the sets. Like I said, she looks impressive until you realize that everything that she does, Libera can do just as well. So, yeah. It's pretty simple. A lot of people have asked me why Carrot Axe when I was doing it on stream. It's just very simple. Carrot Axe gives you some kind of sustain while you keep proccing Ignis every fight. And no follow-up blocks Bolt Fighter from being a threat. Full Smoke shuts down special, and Steady Breath makes Ignis consistent, so she consistently gets the kill because she always gets a hit and then a kill and then a proc. 47 speed should be consistent enough as well. Lantern is also a good weapon because it just shuts down special in general, so she can keep using the other set. It's really a give or take. Do you want to have a way to gain some HP back? Or do you don't care about the self-sustain and rather want guard? Which, by the way, typically, Lantern is not going to help you in Arena. Because you're going to be killing them before they get to the point to get any special off. The only time that they wouldn't is if they have Special Fighter and Gale Force, which not too many unit runs, at least not well at least. So yeah, it's kind of, you get the idea. As for the second set of units, Faithful Axe is just a really strong weapon in general. Faithful Axe with Attack Res Bond, or Attack Def Bond, or whichever bond it is that you're going to be using to make the defense and res about as equal as possible. Or if you're going to be an Aether Raid, distant defense might be better. It's just overall a very strong weapon. Faithful Axe gives you 3 across the board, and that alone for a unit that's a generalist like her or Libera is very, very, very strong. Just look at it this way, right? Libera just has like 5 more res, so it's I think the stat line would be 50 HP, 60 attack, 46 speed. Oh wait, no, was it? No, I think it was speed, yeah, so 46 speed, 39 defense, but 44 res. So you could just refine it to defense, and then you have 43, 44. That's kind of shaky already, because that's already just better than what Ylgr has, right? So actually, no. You'd have 43, 40, so with the CL that's 43, 45, which here is 40, 44, so yeah, it's just better in general. You have better bulk that way. Now, Soul is there just so you have some kind of sustain, because if you're using a DC, no-C, disrupt kind of set, if you don't have any sustain, you will struggle, especially in modes such as AR, which AR tends to just throw a lot of unit to attack you on one turn, because there is no limit on the amount of dancers that can be used, because IS is just that smart. So you get the idea, it's just not really ideal. Other than that, there's not much else to say. It's just overall she's a very good generalist. But like I said, every set she can run, Libera can also run. If easier, in fact, in a lot of cases, especially the AR set. The fact that you have more base res is so vital when it comes down to AR, because of units such as Ophelia, who starts with an AoE from the get-go, so having high base res lowers the damage of an AoE a lot more. If you have 6 more res, or, well, let's just say 4 more res, than, say, Ylgr, at base, without, like, Attack Res Bond and Faithful Axis 3 across the board, if you have, like, an extra 6 res, that's 9 damage off of the AoE. That can make quite a bit of a difference between life or death, so that's definitely worth mentioning. So, like I said, she did take a tumble. I used to rank her in S tier, and then I downed her into A+, just because I realized Libera was just that similar. Overall, she's a good unit, and you should probably build her, but probably not merge her. She's not worth the grail whatsoever. It's just, if that's the type of unit you want, might as well just use Libera. However, like I said, she's still a solid unit altogether, so building one of her for at least AA is not a bad idea whatsoever. You should be doing it, in fact, because she is a fairly consistent counter for units such as Legendary Tiki, or even Fallen Tiki if you have a Is it Slaying Axe? No, it's not. Slaying Hammer, there we go. If you run Slaying Hammer on her, she will most likely be able to deal with every armored unit outside of Halloween, Myrrh, and I guess Zelgus if you actually even manage to find the dude. The dude has been missing from AA. I missed that time where Zelgus was threatening. that was an easier time. But, yeah. Not much else to say. A fairly basic unit. Basic but effective. Still, the fact that she doesn't have a pref means that she has no demarcation over Libera, and let's be honest, Libera is definitely going to get a pref before she does. In fact, I don't think Tempest Trial unit will ever get a pref unless they're units such as Finn, but nowadays they're all like seasonals, and I don't expect seasonals to ever get anything. So, yeah. In conclusion, good unit to build. You can just build her very cheaply. It doesn't really require anything too fancy. Like, just Fury Desperation can work just as well for her in low merges. Fury Desperation with Slaying Hammer. In fact, if you're under Desperation, you might even be able to kill units such as Halloween Myr fairly consistently as well. It all comes down to the setting, though, because if you have to deal with Myr on a defense style, well, that's unlikely. Their stat line is also really good for Brazen, so you can actually stack Brazens if you want her, or just one Brazen might even be enough. But you can stack Brazen fairly easily, since she doesn't need to have something like Fury to push herself in Desperation and Brazen, because she just has that good of a stat line to work with. But yeah, other than that, like I said, pretty solid unit, and you should definitely build her. Just don't merge her. That would just be a waste of resources, if I'm being honest. But yeah, with that said, hope you all have a nice one, and I'll see you all tomorrow for a Sacred Seals tier list update. Which, you can already tell there's going to be a new S+ tier with how much I've been bitching about a certain seal being added. And with that said, see you all in the comments. Have a good night, everyone.